and welcome to the This Is Metal show. And today our guest is the beautiful Audrey Queen of the band Bullet to the Heart. Audrey, this is your first time on the This Is Metal show. I've seen your latest video, which I think is for the single Free.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, I love the video for that. All your videos, I will say, are very movie-like. I mean, I know that's what they're supposed to be, like mini movies, but it's like watching a mini motion picture set to music. So let's talk a little bit about the video, because it looks like it was quite a all-day shot, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was a 12-hour shoot that day. We actually did fight and freeze in the same day. So we had to do like 4 hours of fight, 4 hours of freeze, back and forth. We were just going back and forth. But yeah, when we wanted to create these videos, we did, like you said, we did want to make mini movies, like a cinematic thing. And eventually there'll be 3 more videos and they'll all kind of back up to each other. So you can actually watch them like they are a mini movie. So we have that in the works and we're super excited. And yeah, music video days are always just like, it's hectic. It's going from one outfit to the next outfit to the next makeup, moving instruments, doing that. So it's always like a really full packed day, but it's always so much fun.
Exactly that's a great word, cinematic. That's exactly what it looks like, something you go and watch on the big screen. And let me ask you about your costumes, like in Freeze, like when you're wearing the mask, are you like playing a character part, or how would you describe that?
Yeah, so what we wanted to do with these videos is the characters that are masked, they are what we call the trauma demons. So the stripped down version of me is supposed to be like the actual trauma response, so like fight or freeze. And then you have that demon that's looming over them, that's kind of like telling them that you're not good enough, you can't get through your trauma, you can't do it, but essentially you're trying to break out of that trauma. So yeah, we're calling them the trauma demons.
That's deep. I love that. Tom, you have anything you want to ask Audrey?
Oh, absolutely. So I watched a lot of your videos and stuff like that. Love it. And the thing I have to tell you, your music is very intense, and I like that too. It was really cool. And from the earlier videos to this new one, Fight, I could feel the difference in the music too, which kind of evolved a little. And I love when I use this a lot on the show. I love when bands evolve, because I produce a lot of bands too, not just a record company, but I produce a lot of bands. And Fight, it seemed like almost an angry song, which I love that too. You want to tell me just a little bit about what that was all about? Was it something in real life or anything like that?
So when I was writing Fight, I obviously I went and I was like, what is the definition of the fight trauma response? And then I kind of thought about like my own life, growing up. When I got into my teenage years, my mom and I, we butt heads a lot. We very much fought a lot. So I kind of thought about it in that perspective, because like she was going through trying to get diagnosed with hypothyroidism. I was an angsty teenager trying to get through my parents' divorce. So we did, it was very much the fight trauma response. So I took a lot of inspiration from that, but also just like, what is the fight trauma response in general, which is you're fighting for your life because you're defending yourself. So I wanted that to come across in the video and in the lyrics.
And it did come across very well to me. That's exactly what I thought, but I wanted you to say it.
Thank you.
The other thing is, oh my God, I can't even, I got to put my glasses on. I'm blind here. My memory's terrible. Falling Away, very intense tune. I know it's an older tune, but what was the inspiration for that tune? I mean, that was really cool tune. I like that a lot.
So Falling Away was actually based on what I typically feel during a panic attack. I have CPTSD. I was just recently diagnosed. So I have a lot of panic attacks. So I wanted to encompass what a panic attack feels like. And I wanted people to kind of relate to that, because like for me, I can feel like my heart racing, I'm just thinking of all these thoughts, and then I just like I fall away from everything and I'm lost in it and I can't get back from it. So I wanted it to really like make that statement of this is what a panic attack feels like, and you don't feel it coming on, and then when it does come on, you're done, you just give into it, you can't get out of it, you're spiraling. So that's kind of what that was about.
Wow. Let me ask you, Audrey, do you think being a performer, when you're up on stage or even in the recording studio, and you're doing your thing, and you're up at the mic, do you think that prevents you from having panic attacks, or have you ever experienced panic attack or anything like that when you're on stage?
So I used to, before shows, I had such bad anxiety, I used to puke. I was never able to actually eat before shows. So I've kind of like scaled that back. I do get performance anxiety. I don't think I've ever like experienced a panic attack before shows or during. There was, when we played the one show, we played Postmortem, and that was a song close to me, and I completely blanked on the words, and I was like, oh no, like, and I was like, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, don't panic, don't panic. And of course, I hear my mom and my mother-in-law, they're like, oh my God, she's thinking about that one time when she almost died. And I was like, can you please shut up? That doesn't help. So I was just, so after I heard that, I was kind of like, nope, I'm back in the game. I cannot panic right now. But I do get performance anxiety, but it doesn't prevent me. I think like getting up, it fuels that adrenaline to like
I
want
was
to
gonna
just
ask
like
that. Yeah,
rock.
yeah. I would imagine that might help you kind of deal with that because you're
Yeah.
doing your own thing. Wow, wow. And does the crowd really help get you going? You know, in a positive way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once that crowd starts screaming at me or like shouting lyrics at me, I am like pumped. I'm like, all right, let's get to it. So the crowd, definitely the interaction, the love, just like their expressions, the headbanging, it really like I go to the roof. My confidence soars and I'm like, all right, let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at you and checking out the music videos, one does not get the fact that you might be somebody that suffers from panic attacks or that you lack any confidence. In fact, you come off quite confident, but I guess that shows you what a great performer you are, You're able to
Yeah,
hide.
it's why I created the Queen of Darkness, that persona, because it's like you get into that character and you turn on. But yeah, a lot of people like, I know before I get on stage, I'm always like, I look like this, and people go like, oh, you're so cutesy, what songs are you gonna play? And then I get on stage and I start screaming at them, and they're like, I didn't know they could come out of you. And it's like, yeah, that's that, don't let the cuteness, don't let the cat ears tell you I'm cute, but I'm fierce.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard Alice Cooper say that he like tells people he's not a rock hero, he's a rock villain.
I like that. I'm gonna use that. I'm a rock villain.
Okay, Leithal-X, I'm going to throw it to you. You must have a few questions for Audrey.
Well, yeah, I was checking out all the music and stuff, and a lot of the songs really resonated with me, and I could kind of see that psychological theme going on. I got a little bit of a background in that, in one former life, so I was kind of checking all that out. One of the things I kind of liked was how the videos, because I do video stuff too, other than all this stuff, was how you use the door as a transition, kind of like from one place to another, and you're passing through that. And I liked how you tied those videos together. I thought that was a really interesting thing. But as Tom was saying, those older songs and to the newer songs, I could definitely see the progression going on in that. So what do you think the writing process has been for you? Has it changed over the years, or is it kind of the same as it started? Do you find yourself doing a little bit more legwork, or are the band members more, in tune to what you're looking for now and what they're looking for and so forth?
So with the writing process, it usually starts with Brian and Draven. They'll usually sit down, see what's either trending or what's in or what they like, and they sit down and they write what they think would like really fit with us or what we want to do. And then they'll kind of come to me and I'll let the song speak to me and like what I want it to be written about. Definitely have evolved over the years because like when I first started music, I was just very angry. I wanted to be very grungy. I wanted to be just like in your face, spit at you type of thing. And then as I got older, I was like, yeah, being edgy is cool, but like at some point you got to write about something that's like personal that people can relate to. So I try to look at what's going on in the world or what's going on in my personal life. And I try to relate that to what the masses can latch onto and kind of be like, oh, she's dealing with this as well. So I'm not alone. I want people to feel like they're included, like they're heard. And I think that's what we're all yearning for, especially in this day and age, is to just be heard, because I don't feel like a lot of people like they don't have a voice, or they feel like they don't have a voice, especially on social media, and how like hard bent social media is. I mean, people just have so many opinions. They just like to attack people and just latch onto them because, you know, you're not face to face. So it's easy to just write something horrid to people.
Sure.
So I wanted people to like go into our music and be like, oh, they understand what I'm going through and I can turn to this and kind of get all of that negativity and drown that out. Because I know a lot of bands have done that for me as well. So it's definitely, as we've gotten older, we're definitely like sitting down, evolving, getting more mature, looking at more mature topics and exactly what we need to do in order to like break into the industry. Because I know one day, I know for me, I would like to be a legend. I would like to be a household name. So I'm trying to do whatever it takes to get there.
I think you're well on your way because I'll tell you, Audrey, like in watching the video for Fight, I was writing this stuff down as I'm watching it. It's aggressive, it's heavy, it's melodic. I mean, melodic, aggressive, and heaviness are not usually words that are associated with one another, and yet it's all that. It's beautiful, so to speak. And what's unique in listening to your music is no two songs sound anything alike. They're all kind of stand on their own in a very unique way. I can't sit here and tell people, oh, Bolts of the Heart, they sound like Black Sabbath or they sound like Metallica. You kind of got your own thing going, which I think is very unique, which is why the songs do stand out because you don't sound like everybody else. And maybe because you write from such a personal state.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I am trying to make a distinctive sound. I'm trying to, like, when you listen to the radio or you hear something on Spotify, you before you even look at it, you're like, that's Bullets to the Heart. That's what I'm trying to do. So I really appreciate hearing that because that's what we are trying to do. So.
And you know, I interviewed you and Draven before and Brian once before, and you know, for a drummer, he's very involved with the writing and everything. I know the rest of the band is. Does everybody like in the videos I see different band members like playing different characters?
Yeah, so right now with this current cycle, we have I like how you mentioned characters because there are characters and I wanted to take a moment you're the first person to ask about these characters. So obviously we know I'm the Queen of Darkness. That's what I've always been. But the characters we have we wanted to play something off of like the tarot cards. So Brian is the magician. Because he's kind of, you know, he's goofy, he's fun. We wanted something to match.
Photos, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we wanted to match him. Draven is obviously Death. That's why he has the skull mask. He's Death himself. And then we have Six, who is our resident demon. He is Justice. So that's our characters. That's what we're rolling with right now. Will the characters stay? I don't know. Gimmicks are hard, so we may do something moving forward.
Or do you think it might be like Slipknot? Maybe every album you have different characters or something like that.
I don't know if we're ready to commit to that. I mean, I've always committed.
Mask, but, you know, like, well,
yeah. I mean, I've always committed. I'll always be the queen. I think Six will always be Six, but I think Brian and Draven, it's very just like up in the air. I don't think it's so hard playing a character because when you play a character, you have to always be the character. And we've gotten that from a lot of we've got a slap on the wrist from a lot of people. Like, you need to be posting as your character. But then I feel like it takes me out of the personal space. And then I don't know. I don't think the characters will stick. I think we might go to just.
You know best, Audrey. It's your art, it's your work. And I think I think you've been pretty successful so far. That you know, we're here talking to you and enough people follow your career and your music and check out your music and go to your shows that you got enough of a fan base that you're doing something right, you know. So I think that's the best advice I could give you is rather than listen to what everybody else says, go with what your heart's telling you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate hearing that because that's all I want to do. I just want to be a voice for the fans, and I want to be relatable, and I want to be out there for people.
Yeah. And so let's talk about playing out live. How often do you guys play live? I mean, do you do like weekend shows or what's that process like?
So we used to play out a lot and we quickly realized that's like a burnout. Yeah, so we, it was just like show. And then it was just like, ugh, please, can we? And then it was like, let's write, let's make content, let's do this. I was like, okay, one or the other here. So we're kind of slowing down a little bit. We are playing some shows. We have a July 20th show in Oakwood, Illinois. We are also playing our EP release show on August 17th in West Dundee at Rock House. And then there is a tour in the works right now from the end of October to early November, but we're trying to get more meaningful shows instead of just like a mass quantity, because I feel like when you do the mass quantity, you burn very quickly. And I've seen, or you stay playing to the same people, so people don't, you oversaturate the market. So we're trying to like make it to where when we drop a show, people are like, we need to go because they haven't been out in a hot minute. So that's what we're doing.
Tom, you can relate to that kind of touring schedule, huh?
Well, absolutely. When my band, stuff like that, what I do is everything we do is an event. Like last night I was out with the guys from Sweet. I mean, I played Metal Hall. My next show is with Metal Allegiance in New York City. So if you oversaturate a market, you'll kill yourself. But just strategically picking the correct shows, and that's what I've done. I mean, I've got some great shows coming up, and all of January I'll be on the West Coast. Wow. I'm from New York, but and last year I actually personally met Jason for the first time. He was my guest at the Metal Hall. I played the Metal Hall, and then the next night I was at the House of Blues with Metal Allegiance, and then the NAMM show. So I understand you're doing it the right way. And choose your battles. You know what I mean? You go out there, you find the right places. I mean, I play with everybody from Megadeth to Metallica, you name it. I've been out with everybody. And I've always made sure people are like, why don't you play every weekend? I'm not going to play every weekend. You become a nobody. Why don't you just do cover songs? So, and the other thing I just want to say about your music, when you're talking about people relating to it, it's exactly right. You want people to connect with you. And that's what I could see in your songs. When I listened to it, I could feel the connection to it. And that's why I asked you about what was the meaning of this song and stuff. But you guys are doing the right thing. So I'm not trying to give you advice. I'm just telling you my opinion of that. So.
No, thank you so much. It's good to hear someone that's been in the industry reaffirm that. I think that only fuels us more and like gives us that little reassurance. So I'm glad to hear that from you, honestly.
And you're mentioning that you're going to be playing soon your EP release party. Do you have an official release date for that? And will people be able to get physical copies or just digitally?
Yeah, so we actually are doing physical pre-orders right now in our big cartel for the new EP. We actually have it in hand at the house. It's so cool. So pre-orders are available, but it's going to officially release on all platforms August 2nd. And then we will play our EP release show, and then people will also have a chance to get it there as well.
That's cool. How many songs are on the EP?
There's going to be 5 songs. 5 total.
Yeah. That's the way people are doing it now. Usually like anywhere from a 4 to 5, 6 song EP. I am an old school guy. I love like the full length album, but I will say like in a band like your case, both to the heart, I think it's 5 or 6 songs that are going to pack the fans. It's going to be powerful stuff. And as far as coming up with a set list, how hard is that to play stuff off a new album as well as the classics?
So yeah, we actually recently just took down a bunch of music because it was just kind of sitting up there, wasn't getting too many streams. So I know we just recently took down Trials and Tribulations. So that's no longer in print or available. We took a couple songs down off of Transcendence, but mostly Transcendence is up there. Obviously we have Death, Oddities, and Romance, and now Trauma. So we do have like a plethora, like a catalog to pick from. And we try to do the new stuff, and then we try to do like the fan favorites. So we always go back to like our very first single was Locked Inside. We always play Locked Inside because without, anything, someone at the show is like, I know that song at least. And Revenant, for some reason, everybody knows Revenant when we play shows. Like we went on tour with Yngwie Malmsteen, and every night when we played Revenant, people were screaming at us. They were like, this is the song we heard. And I was like, sweet.
What was that like? That must be an interesting crowd playing, opening up for Yngwie. I mean, different type of music, but.
It was super interesting, but a lot of people were really into it.
Yeah.
Like there was,
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of seating, and I noticed that when like we played, people were like up and like watching us, or they were coming to the merch table, and it was the crowd where they were like, we didn't know you were on it, but we really enjoyed it. We wanted to come see you, we wanted to come meet you, and we were like, oh, thank you, because like we're younger, so we were just like, why not? Let's give it a go. And we actually got a great response.
Well, I gotta say, Audrey, I never heard of bands taking their own music down. Is that just something you guys decided to do, or?
So it's actually, we've been noticing it's kind of, it's an industry thing sometimes, depending on what it is, especially with some of our music. It wasn't mixed and mastered properly. It was kind of thrown together. So it was good to kind of just out with the old, in with the new.
You kind of feel like, I guess that's a new way of doing it. That's the first time I've ever heard that. That's interesting. But you feel like kind of like, oh, that song that took me all that time to create, it's no longer in print. Oh wow.
I mean, it kind of, I mean, it's still out there. We still have it. People still have it on CD. So like if someone does miss a song, they can just be like, I have this physical CD.
Yeah,
I know that's
true.
like,
That's true.
you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't want, a lot of people nowadays want, like, especially me, like, I know like my generation, we were like half in, half out, like cassette CDs type of thing. I'm a CD collector.
Me too.
So I know for me, I'll grab a CD, but just looking back at it, it kind of just, it shows me where I was, and I wasn't necessarily like, it's good to look back, but I wasn't necessarily like, I wouldn't say like I was great on Trials and Tribulations. I was okay. I was learning. So it's good to just for people not to hear that the first time. I would hate for someone for their first time to hear like Break You off of our first album and then be like, oh, she sucks, and then move on. I would rather them hear like Revenant or Black Widow and be like, okay, and then maybe check out the old stuff. But that's the problem with the streaming services, is they will sometimes cycle your older stuff in, and then people will base their judgment off of that. And I was learning, but you can't tell that to every fan. You can't be like, I'm sorry, I was learning. Like I was trying to find my voice. I want people to just like hear the best version of myself.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I've always thought of, especially when talking about physical music, albums and stuff that you can hold in your hand, it's like that's where you were at that time in your life. That's a moment in your life, a page out of your life.
Yeah, and it was a good page. I don't necessarily want to remember it anymore. Time to move on.
Interesting. Okay. So anything else going on with the band? I mean, that's pretty much it. Is you're going to get the new EP out there and hopefully do a few more shows this year?
Yeah, and then so the July 20th show, EP release on August 17th, the tour that we're doing routing for, and then we're gonna kind of take a break, maybe write some more music, get some more stuff done. So I think after October, we're gonna kind of just lay it low.
Final question I have for today, and I'll throw it to the other guys if they have anything else they want to ask you, is in regard to the Freed video, you in the bathtub, whose idea was that? I mean, you look like you had hardly anything on. I mean, was that uncomfortable or?
It was super uncomfortable because that tub was, someone used, so we went to a studio, someone used that tub before, so they had the water in there, so I had to sit down in like cold water. It was not my idea. That was Akash, our videographer, and my husband Draven. That was their idea. They were like, it would look so cool if you sat in a bathtub and you were sad. And I was like, all right, I mean, it is a sad song, so let's do it. I'll sit in a bathtub. But by the end of it, I was soaked, I was freezing. And then the place goes, yeah, we don't have any towels. And I was like, and we didn't bring any towels. No. So yeah, I was cold.
Okay, Tom and Leithal-X, you guys have any final questions for Audrey?
I do, actually. So I understand exactly what you're talking about, taking down the music. So I have an old album out there, one of the first albums I put out, and it was not up to the industry standards. And the problem, we were going to take it down, and believe it or not, that thing has sold 3,700 copies. And it continues, and people are still streaming it. We're going, we were going to take the thing down, and I didn't take it down. I probably should have, but people just kept buying it. So we're like, okay, we just kept getting checks for it.
It's supply and demand, it's almost at this point become a collector's item for the fans.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we're never going to reprint that thing ever again. I saved like 300 copies of it. So someday we thought we'd put it out as a classic, but it was like just almost like a joke album. We recorded it in our schoolhouse. I own a one-room schoolhouse where we rehearse at, recorded that. But here's something I want to say. I see you have hot sauce. We have a good friend that just sent us hot sauce. Dave Schenkel from Man of War just sent us the hot sauce. I love the hot sauce endorsement. How'd you guys end up with that?
So it's a funny story. Psycho Pepper was our old manager, Dominic Boss. He decided, I'm gonna make hot sauce. So we were like, go for it, bro, do it up. So it's actually our old manager. Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna do Bullet to the Heartburn, then I'm gonna do my own personal sauce, and he's actually coming out with a trauma sauce. So for the whole new album, and I wanted to go back to with the music stuff. It was funny because when we took stuff down, we were getting emails and messages. Where's the music? Where did it go? And we were like, guys, you're not streaming it. We took it down, and then all of a sudden we were like, no, where is it? And we were like, yeah, we were like, listen. So what we end up started to do is when people asked, we were like, do you want the old music? And if they said yes, we just sent them MP3s. We were like, here you go, you can have it. Like, because we're not going to print it. We don't want it up. You can have it. We don't like it, but if you want it, here you go. So, but yes, we do have hot sauce. We will be selling hot sauce. Hopefully it'll be up on our site soon.
Okay.
Very cool.
How about you, Leithal-X? Do you have any final questions for Audrey?
No, not really. I mean, I think that they're doing everything right, as Tom was saying. I think they're doing what they can do and they're writing it from the heart and with meaning and purpose and so forth. I think that's going to be good for you guys. So keep doing what you're doing, Audrey.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, Audrey, it was great talking to you again, and this episode will be going probably sometime in early August. I'll let you know once I have a date for that. And let's keep in touch, and we'd love to have you back anytime you guys got anything to promote, okay?
Of course, I'd love to be back.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.